Hmm. That's very... That's very confusing, honestly. It makes
Think
the
of it as
impact...
a think of it as you have a barrier in your mind saying that this doesn't exist, as opposed to an open field saying this does exist. You
Hmm.
need to knock down the barriers, and that takes a while.
Mm. So it would be something like the phenomenon of object blindness?
The Suzuki will have knowledge.
Okay. I mean, if she rolls well, I'll tell you what it is.
Zero's well, I'll tell you what it is.
Do you know what it is?
No!
Okay, there we go.
She'll be like, I've. It's not that term's a bit familiar to me, but I don't know what it means here.
Oh. Well, maybe it's because I'm taking psychology. But it's a term that means that when you're overloaded with stimulus, your brain will actually filter things out. If you're paying attention on... You'll pause and go... Such as, if you're paying attention to a specific group of people, you won't notice what someone else is doing. Or if something enters your field of view, you could actually be blind to it. It works with any of the senses, so if you're able to sense this stuff, if you're not prepared for it and you don't believe in it, I guess it's the same theory.
Right, right. Well, sometimes in cases that there are some cases where you become so comfortable with the idea that it's not as big of a deal, like with Reiko Chan.
Reiko's... wait. Reiko's too comfortable?
Don't tell her I said that.
Don't tell Sugihara I questioned him earlier in the year, then.
Do.
Right. Anyways, I suppose I might have had a few questions about that, actually.
About Reiko?
Well, no, not exactly about Reiko. About... And he'll just kind of... Let me check his expression. 6? Okay, it's about average. He'll be like, more about Katsumi, really.
Oh, Katsumi.
I did say last night I might have some questions for some people, you included.
Oh, right, you did, didn't you?
Yes.
And she'll just kind of rub her chin, and she'll be like, "You wouldn't really ask Kira. You wouldn't really
No.
ask Ryu. You wouldn't really ask Raph. That just kind of leaves me and Draco."
Yes, and Reiko didn't seem to be in any mood to want company when she left class.
Reiko, when she gets like that, it's not a good thing and a bad thing about her is that she doesn't really hide anything.
Yeah, she is quite unfiltered.
Right. She usually perks up after she's made her decision. It's kind of like she's in incubation mode.
Incubating to make a decision.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's not good to be too hasty. He just kind of sighs.
Right. But if you want to ask me about Katsumi, it depends on what the question is.
Right. Yes, well, obviously. But I just mean... He'll be like... It's not something that we need to talk about privately or anything. It's just... I need to settle my head about some things.
Settle your head?
Yes.
Are you worried?
And he'll go, unsure.
Is it about that talk we had the other day? Well, you guys had. I'm not really part of that.
Yes, it's about that.
Right. I mean, the more you know about Katsumi, I suppose the less complicated it will be.
That's what I'm hoping.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Rio will be like, yes, I'm sure.
I mean, I guess out of everybody, you've always been the more. You've been one that when you make a choice, you stick to it. You know?
Well, if you really need to, you can turn around, but you shouldn't be making the wrong decision in the first place. He just kind of smiles. Then it drops away, and he's like, but yes, I do like to be sure of myself.
Right. Well, I can tell that you're not gonna change your mind, so I guess it's all right. So go ahead.
Right. We'll just kind of pause for a bit. I assume they've gotten to the cafeteria already.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll be like, well, I guess I can start with the most basic. You've known Katsume for quite a long time. Has she always been so... He pauses, looking for the right word. Determined, I suppose?
Like she needs to do everybody else's jobs for him? Not because
Well,
she feels like they're incompetent, because she just wants to add to the effort.
He'll just kind of squint a bit, and then he'll go, truth be told, from what little I've talked to her, I don't know if that's what I experience. He just kind of stops and then goes, I guess what I think of her determination isn't that she wants to do everyone's job. It's that she's, well, focused. When we've talked about our ideals, she's always seemed very committed to them. Does she like taking on other people's jobs?
When it comes to her family thing, yeah. I mean, think of it like household chores. You'd always be the one to volunteer before, like the person asks, "So, what job are you going to do?" You know?
Right. Oh, so she has the initiative then.
Yeah. I mean, you don't exactly become as well knowledgeable as she is when it comes to her family stuff unless you actually put the effort into it.
Right. So I suppose she's been that way for quite a while now? He asks.
I don't think I've ever seen her like be lazy.
Right. Well, I guess that's another thing. I don't know how clued in you are, but I'm... well, I'm not part of any of that. What is going on with Katsume and the temple? She's part of that family, right? Is their inheritance hereditary?
You mean their powers?
No, he meant inheritance, as in, like, is she going to take up a position in them because she's a daughter?
Oh, like she's going to be the next head of the Nakatomis once her dad, well, he either passes it to her or he dies.
That's a large
She's his only biological daughter.
That's a
or
large
child.
Yes, that's a large responsibility to bear. He kind of goes, but it seems like she's quite looking forward to it.
Yeah. She'll kind of say, like, looking off to the side.
Can I roll understanding?
Yeah.
Neat. Well, it's my Shizuka modifier. It might be 4. And by
Yeah,
4, I mean 2.
Yeah.
Where is she actually? The High Priest, yes. Okay, it's 4. Alright. Rio's distracted.
Right. So Suzuka, like, she has a lot of nervous tics, you've come to know that of her.
Yeah,
That could literally mean any part of your sentence to set her off.
Yeah, this isn't unusual. But I suppose it would be a good idea to change tactics at this point, considering anything I say could tick her off. I'll be like, right. Well, I guess there is one thing of some import. We've talked a bit, as I said, about ideals, philosophy, and what we want to do, but, well, not for very long, so that's a bit vague. So I was wondering if you might have any idea as to... Well, Katsumi told me that she wanted to be a guiding light for Japan when she steps into her role. Then I assumed that it was, well, something to do with the families. Now you've confirmed that. You've known her for a while. Has that been a consistent goal of hers?
Yeah. I don't think it's never not been.
I don't suppose you've ever talked about what exactly that means?
No. It's like there's just some things you don't need to talk about. It just shows.
Right. So, what do you think it means then?
What Katsumi's goal means?
He nods.
That she wants to do what she believes she's both needs to do and what she was meant to do. I mean, it's like saying, do you like using your arms and your legs? You know? It's kind of hard to be like anything, but yeah, I do. I really like using my arms and legs. You know?
I think I get what you mean. Though you could have stopped before that metaphor.
Oh.
And he'll be like, well... Oh no. He'll be like, well... I still don't know, honestly.
Don't know what?
Okay. I'm going to roll Rio's courage with...
College.
Yes. 2. Okay. Leo is too afraid to say it.
Still don't know if what?
Oh, still don't know if I'm getting what I wanted. I apologize.
Well, I don't know what you wanted. I mean, you wanted to know more about Katsumi, right? Well, that's the thing about Katsumi. You can't really separate her from her family life or her professional life, still saying quotation marks. It's just not possible, you know? It would be like an entirely different person I'd be talking about. What you see is what you get with Katsumi. She's kind of like Reiko in that regard, but she's a lot more reserved. You know, she doesn't talk about her feelings openly. She displays them. The fact that even when she's feeling really sad, she won't say that she's feeling really sad, but you can just tell, you know, even if she doesn't want you to tell. But that's another point entirely.
Rio looks like what you just said is the exact opposite of helpful.
It's Suzuki.
And he'll be like, didn't I say that was the point? I've spent virtually, let's see, maybe an hour in her presence? No, more like 3.
You count that?
And he goes, He just gives her this lopsided stare like, I'm estimating.
Oh.
I know it's not a large amount.
Well, Katsumi's kind of busy a lot, so that honestly doesn't surprise me. It's not like we spent tons of time in active, being together. It's just more like being in the same room, house, temple, village, place. Like you just pick up on those things.
Right. Well, I suppose I still need to figure this out, but, well, you've been helpful, Shizuka.
Oh, I mean, that's good at the end of the day, right?
Well, yes. Helpfulness is objectively good.
I believe that when it comes to why she might have, a card, I don't think it's entirely a secret, like it's written in everything she does. So
that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, that's probably why Chohan said that, everything's there in front of you. You just need to choose whether you want to accept that or not.
Just kind of go, right. Well,
and she'll say one last thing, maybe something that most people have forgotten about. You guys were the ones who gave her persona.
He'll blink and be like, oh, well, yes, a few months ago.
Just something to keep in mind. Considering her
keep
background.
in mind. Right.
If you don't understand what I mean when I say that, then there's no other way I can put it. I just hope that how you do it is a good thing.
Nario has appeared to have been deep in thought. He'll be like, right. That... Well, thank you, Shizuka. I think I'm... I think I have a lot to think about on that, actually.
Right. Well, I better start heading back and actually eat this now. So.
Right. Thank you for your time.
Alright, see you later, Ryogata.
What?
Said Ryogata.
Ryogata?
Yeah.
Well, that was him saying it.
Yeah. You... It works, right?
And he'll be like, well, yes, it works.
I can't both of them individually sound weird. So I put them together. Yeah.
Well, I suppose you can do what you like.
Well, I mean, what I call you is like, you decide that. I can just think that way, honestly.
I can tell you what to call me, but at the end of the day, I don't control your mouth, so you get to decide what to call me.
That's a weird way of saying that you're not going to tell me.
That's a weird thing to call me.
Fair.
Right, well, as I've said, thank you. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask, Shizuka.
Right. See you later then. Yo.
Rio. Great. Okay. Yes, welcome back. Rio will head off as well.
Alright. So, last but not least, that leaves our friend Akira. Akira.
Okay.
And
You okay, buddy?
She's just putting the new token on.
Oh, thank you.
And where's your name, you bitch?
You?
Did you forget my character's name already?
No, I took back the token. That did.
No.
Rio and Akira.
Rio and Ryu.
So you are making your way to the nurse's office.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And should I change the music? I don't really have anything else. And you'll be like, you'll get there. And you'll see it's not busy, but there are people about.
Yeah. Make Shin's place then.
All right. So when you get up to Shin's curtain, you will hear some muttering by, well, to Akira the voice is unfamiliar, and to Ryu it's somewhat familiar.
Okay.
Who is it for him?
All right, it sounds like a male voice. Sounds like he's going over like medical equations. Honestly, to both of you, you don't understand like what it means. You understand the words he's saying.
Like there's someone in there?
Yeah.
Guess we'll just step in. Poke her head in.
Don't even knock on the curtain.
It's a curtain!
You don't even say, I'm coming in, excuse me.
Nope.
Alright.
Okay,
So in there
Akira.
you'll see this. He looks tall. Yes, not as tall as Akira. He's sitting down on a chair. He has not super long, but he has long hair and he has a very noticeable bald patch. And he looks middle-aged. He doesn't look as old as Minamoto. He doesn't look as young as Gender is, obviously.
Could have gone with the nurse, but sure, yeah.
And he's going, and he'll just kind of look up from the notes he was going through. He'll be like, "Can I help you?"
Sorry, am I interrupting something?
Well, yes.
Oh. Ha. Yeah. So poke her head back out. Look through if there's someone in there.
Right. Guess that means we wait.
Yep.
All right. So you'll wait. Time will go past, and it's very clear this guy isn't leaving.
I talked to him last time. You talked to him this time.
If he's doing a checkup on Shin, maybe we should just come another time.
Well, Shin wanted to talk to us. He probably wants us to show up soon. Maybe you'll scare him.
Right. Well, if he wants to talk to us soon, I said we just come. Point in interrupting this, especially if it's for Shin's health.
I mean, we've waited this long. Don't you feel kind of anxious about this whole thing?
Yes, but I also kind of feel like it's something going to go away anytime soon either.
It could be a big deal that we gotta get to him. It's kind of hard to focus in class.
If that's the case, then why just us?
I don't know.
I mean, he had a stronger connection to the others. Why didn't they get the feeling that he needed to talk?
He wanted to talk to us.
We will see if he can find the nurse to find out what's going on and if it's going to be a while.
Alright, so you'll find her. She's kind of checking over some cabinets at the moment. And be like, oh, Ryu, Kira, is anything the matter?
No, we were just wanting to talk to Shin and notice someone's just with them already.
Ah, right. Dr. Kuroki. Well, the arrangements in the office are changing somewhat. Since condition, it's become a lot more complex, and Dr. Kuroki usually takes a backroom role in the affairs of the school, but he said he's going to be his personal doctor. When Kuroki starts, when he assigns a personal, not client, but patient. Yeah, when he has a personal patient, he spends quite a lot of time doing study. If you wish to talk to him, you can talk to him. I wouldn't exactly say that Kuroki is an invasive man.
So interrupt him.
Yeah, I think this is something we kind of need to talk to Shin about kind of in a private setting, but so
I'm afraid that you'll have to mention that to Dr. Kuroki then. He can be quite persistent when he's in the middle of his work.
Got it. Cool. Kick him out. Well, as long as we're allowed to. Come on, Ryu.
Don't think that's quite what she said.
No, she's joking.
Right, okay. Thank you for your time.
All right. And she'll just kind of nod and go back to sorting out the things.
Well, guess Shin's feeling under the weather. Maybe that's kind of what this is about.
Well, considering his insistence on the cards, I'd say he's losing power until we get them to him.
Just kind of scratching the back of her head. Guess we better hurry with that. So, you want to tell the doctor that we need to talk to him for a sec, or should I?
I think you've got the better bedside manner to talk to him about.
All right. I guess they'll make their way back over.
And when you go in, he'll be like, welcome back. It's been so soon. It's been
Yeah. Sorry about that, doctor. Is it possible that we could talk to Shin?
Why?
He called us to talk.
He did. He's been quite unresponsive.
Yeah, he wanted to talk to us about something. It sounded urgent. What did he say?
He says, I've been in this room ever since Sunday. I would have known if he had called. Unless you're talking about some sort of ability or mythological names. And that would be quite fascinating to know whether it would help understand his condition more or not. So go ahead. He'll get out of him.
She'll look towards Ryu like, what does this look like? Like that kind of unsure look, like, what, should we say something or just lie? Not like saying that, obviously, but like, what do we do? Look.
Go talk to Shin. If he's responsive, maybe we can get some alone time.
What'd you say? Sorry?
Said, well, go talk to Shin. Maybe you can get him to be responsive.
Okay. So just ignore his question?
Well, I think he's waiting to see what happens when you go talk to him.
I'm pretty sure he was saying, how'd he talk to you? But whatever. I'll take that as ignore him. And then Kira will just kind of look over
Is
the
this method
Shin.
of communication unique between Shin and yourself? Quite openly in front of me right now. Perhaps it's a directed channel of sorts.
Don't know.
Mm.
So is Shin just lying on his bed? Like, what does he look like?
He's kind of staring at the ceiling.
Akira will kind of wave a hand in front of him. Shin?
Like, he'll just kind of follow the hand.
Hey,
He'll just kind of sigh. And he'll be like, you're blocking my view.
What are you looking at?
The ceiling.
For fun or for business?
It's the only place I can look at the moment. Doesn't.
I got the blinders.
No. So when you move his hand, his face, he'll respond. I see. You must have a connection to him somehow.
Yeah.
How would you describe your friendship? Or are you not the answering type?
Yeah, Kuroki-san. Can we have a minute to talk? I think it was a personal thing.
A personal thing? Well,
yeah.
when it comes to personal things, I asked you a question and you ignored me. Now, how am I meant to respond to you asking me to leave? And
I mean, I'm more just worried about how Shin's doing, honestly. You said he was unresponsive, so forgive me if I'm more worried about him right now.
Oh, that response is actually quite normal for the time I've managed to gain data. I'd be worried if he was more sprightly.
Got it. How long have you gathered data?
Well, you see, the interesting thing about this boy here is that his existence is so small that it's barely recognized by most people within this very academy. And considering the academy, it has the properties of I wouldn't say amplification, that's a bit too strong, but more of a visionary. It's quite the unusual statement. It's either that this boy here is so insignificant that it doesn't pop up on most people's radar, or he's actually insanely talented, and not even the most skilled of persona users can detect him. I somehow feel it's the combination of both.
Have you not just tried asking him?
Oh, if he refuses to answer to me, the most that I got is that he'll only answer to those who will cards.
What'd you say you cut out? But to those who would.
To those who pledge their loyalty to him. And I don't believe that I'm important enough for him to offer that to me. I believe those were his words. The only ones. But since he shared a word with you, I'm assuming you've done some sort of friendship promise or something of the like of that. Maybe it's I'm too old. Maybe I should get my son in here, actually.
Well, I mean, we're friends. I could ask you why he doesn't want to talk to you.
Oh, I believe I just said why.
I thought you said you guessed why.
No, I said what he said to me.
Oh. Yeah. Right. That. Cool. So, can we not talk to him for a bit?
You can do when my research is done, and I still have at least 3 days worth more to go of intense studying before I start other methods.
Do you not let him have bathroom breaks?
Oh, I do.
Can this be a bathroom break?
He doesn't need to relieve himself.
The privacy thing, mostly.
And I believe I said that I don't give you permission. He has no legal guardian, so I'm the next best thing. As his medical advisor.
Yeah.
If you wish to have a conversation with him, I don't mind you talking right here and now. I don't have any concern for any love affairs, any rivalries you have with other students.
That's great. That's just kind of weird.
There are things that you understand, especially when it comes to one's mythological development. Every little conversation, every little detail, every action that you take, every minute and every second that passes, it leaves a mark on you, a mark that won't ever go away. If I'm not here to observe these changes and make a note of them, then my research will go horribly wrong, and I might as well start from the beginning.
Yeah, that's only made the weird feeling worse.
Well, your feelings of weirdness do not concern me.
I'm kind of gathering that.
Okay, how about we say connection with them other than friendship is we're still trying to figure that out.
This makes me leave how?
Well, it answers your question.
Still figuring it out isn't concrete enough for me to make the notations on my paper. You might as well be stating the obvious, saying that we share breathing in common.
Right. And if I told you that we are chosen ones destined to save the world from an unknown danger having to do with something scattered around that he lost, would you believe me?
I can certainly believe in that he would have such a delusion as that. Like I said, if he's a mythological potentate, if he's mythologically potent, he might even have an effect that actually comes into existence. I still don't know what exactly I'm dealing with here. So yes, I would believe you. Of course, I would believe in you. That is the whole ethos of being a mythopoetic. That you make things come into reality. You project onto the world. Why wouldn't I believe you?
Most people wouldn't believe someone in bed sickly like this would have that kind of power, I would think.
Well, most people that you know of would be idiots then.
Probably.
Yeah, you two get along well.
And he'll just kind of look up to Rian and he'll be like, I was made notice to be here due to your brother's influence. You do know that, right? We've had our conversations before.
Do you two know each other?
I wouldn't really say no. We've had brief meetings. He did sign away some personal rights if it comes to his body parts when he dies, but I wouldn't exactly say we're knowing each other there.
Ugh.
You're not an organ donator. Shame.
I don't want people touching my organs.
How selfish.
That's fucking gross.
You'll be dead.
I'll be alive in spirit.
Your spirit does not need physical organs.
Yeah, but what if it wants physical organs?
Then I would say that it's quite superfluous.
Well, I like what I have. Guess.
You like what you have? That's a rare opinion that one would hold about themselves, especially when they're a mythopoetic.
Right. So, from the way things are sounding, you're going to be here.
Yes.
Thing of matter is going to change. Got it.
I believe I've mentioned that 5 times.
Man, Doc, you're really the life of the party.
When it comes to relating to you, I'm already past that turbulent stage of my life. I simply do. I don't have to relate to you personally. It's a gulf that I'll never be able to cross now. I've done my time.
What does that mean?
I'm not trying to relate to you, and I don't care if I do or do not.
Got it.
Okay. I get where you're going. I'm leaving now. You have fun with your fruitless watching.
You're leaving?
Well, he's not going to leave. Chances are Shin's not going to talk to them here, so unless you feel like staying here for the next 4 days hoping something changes.
And he'll be like, by the way, Tahinaka, I'm assuming you don't want me to divulge private information. It might ruin your friendship. You can come to see me later, and I'll tell you then if you don't want your friend here to be privy.
Yeah, she's been pretty much privy just about everything else, so I don't...
Right. Well, if you're not concerned about the details, then I'll just tell you here. I've been assigned here ever since your brother's visit to Shin. It quite spooked the man. Said it was more of my wheelhouse.
Brother came to see Shin.
Ah, yes, he was concerned about this. That this boy might have multiple contracts with Takanaka, possibly his patron, according to your words. Exactly. He came to investigate whether that was the case, and it seems to be quite true. I do note that within his development there are significant parts relating to you, but it's also the weakest out of the people he has made connections with. So I suppose if you just ignore the fellow and never come to see him again, you'll be quite all right, honestly.
Yeah, sometime I don't think my luck's gonna go that way. Chances are it's the weakest because Minamoto Sensei gave me my new persona, and well, I don't have as good a friendship with him as Akira does.
Yes, there is certainly that. There is certainly a distinct boundary between what you previously developed under your former persona, Vitala, and your current one. But it's not as hard as a divide as one should have. It would indicate that the contract you made with Vitala was quite limp compared to the other lengths that people go to. But still, it's not of my concern what people make their contracts with and who about. I simply study the phenomenon. But you are quite capable of walking away, quite literally. This boy here cannot leave the confines of the academy. If you left the city and you never came back, eventually the link would decrease, and that layer within you would become very small. It would become more passive, and it would fall down into the subconscious rather than be an active part.
Right. That's actually an interesting piece of information. I'll keep that in mind.